right here in Udupi, ground zero, to where the controversy over hijab ban kicked off. In fact, I'm going to take you through all those developments coming across from the state of Karnataka over this hijab ban, even as the court gears up to hear this matter at 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. The hijab fire only continues to spread across India after this intense face-off for the last week now. I'm going to take you through the 5 developments here on this raging controversy. Schools till Class 10 reopened today in Karnataka amid the mega showdown over hijab. Schools for higher classes and degree colleges will stay closed for a little while, possibly until the 17th of February. Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai has appealed for peace and normalcy to prevail in the state. In a bid to keep troublemongers out, prohibitory orders have been imposed. Section 144 been imposed around schools, high schools in Udupi, Shimoga, Dakshin Kannada. They've also imposed prohibitory orders in Bengaluru. All gatherings and agitations are banned in the area around high schools. High Court to resume its hearing on the pleas challenging the hijab ban at 2:30 p.m. today. In the interim order, the court has prohibited hijab or saffron shawls in those said colleges which already have strict rules of uniformity in place. Until the court takes up the matter, it's status quo. Now hitting out at religious fanatics, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that their dream of Ghazwa-e-Hind will not be fulfilled even till the Qayamat, and the government will function according to the constitution and not the Shariat law. Now, some students wearing hijab and burqa are being allowed inside the Kundapura Government High School in Udupi, where the entire hijab controversy had first begun. All right, we have some big news coming in from Karnataka. The Karnataka Minister Araga Gyanendra has now responded to the kind of backing that many of these petitioners pushing for the hijab inside classrooms. In fact, he says that there seems to be some kind of conspiracy. We are digging information on these petitioners' links. He says, yes, we have information that they are linked to few organizations and we're going to take appropriate action if at all they provocate. Now here, Araga Gyanendra seems quite certain, the Karnataka minister, that this looks politically motivated and that there could be some groups backing these girls to push this agitation further and try to create commotion around educational institutions. He says these people will be booked if at all they try to provoke. Let's take a listen. All right, now we know that the Udupi College now, of course, has written to the management. Udupi Government High School here submits a memorandum to the management to start classes as soon as possible. You remember that now examinations are just around the corner, barely a month away, and it appears now schools being shut, colleges being shut has really put students on the back foot. Even as their academic year is now coming to an end, the Udupi Government High School students have now submitted a memorandum to the management to start classes as soon as possible. In fact, in the memorandum, students have stated that their education is being affected and have also lashed out at all those students who are fighting the hijab ban, saying that they always went hunting for controversies. Now, in this memorandum, they also further say that we need offline classes at the earliest and resume education. Shilpa, a student of 2nd PU Commerce, has submitted this memorandum to the school, demanding on Monday that while she's speaking to the media as well, she said that petitioner students always quoted controversies in the past too. Earlier, they raised the issue of language and said that they were not allowed to speak Urdu inside class, but that's a lie. As we speak Tulu, we do not restrict them on the same. Now, I'm going to quickly cut across to Shrija, bringing us more details on this. Shrija, give us an insight into this memorandum that has been submitted to the college management in Udupi. We know that many students are certainly suffering because so far, due to the corona pandemic, classes were closed. Now, just when colleges and schools have started about 2 months ago, here's another controversy leading to another round of closure of schools and colleges in Karnataka particularly. These Udupi students now requesting the management to open up colleges at the earliest because they are lagging in their classes. Also pointing out that these 6 petitioners were troublemakers from the start. That's what the memorandum says.
Yes, we have commerce student here from second PU, and it has been clearly told that they have requested the management and the school that their classes should be resumed at the earliest because their exams are ahead, and they don't want any kind of a controversy to be continued. And we can see that the high school section today started in a very peaceful manner. School students were very happy to attend the class after 5 days of holiday, especially 9th and 10th class. And we can also see that the organization is all set to welcome in the morning to welcome the children. And district administration and DDPI had already appointed a supervising officer who can see that all the students properly follow the uniform system or uniform code allowed in the classroom. Also, they wanted to make sure that the college and the management follow the court order as it was requested earlier. And now once the SSLC students are, as the SSLC and 9th is resumed, now PU students also wanted to come to the campus at the earliest and start their classes.
Rightly so that many of the students now feel angered that because of a bunch of them, their classes have been affected. And we know how important this academic year is because we're talking about 12th standard board examinations. So it's going to really affect many of their students' prospects as well. If they want to move further for better education, higher education, this 12th standard board exams is very crucial in Karnataka for sure. I'm going to quickly cut across to our reporters. In fact, we know that Karnataka schools across have today opened up. We have Nagarjun joining us from Bengaluru. He's at Vidhan Sauda. We have Mustafa Sheikh, of course, in Udupi, Kundapura, giving us a perspective, of course, Shrija as well. I'm going to start with Nagarjun. Nagarjun, here we know that Karnataka schools have opened up today, but very tense situation prevails, even as Section 144 has been imposed in many parts of Karnataka, including Shimoga, Udupi, Bengaluru, of course, because the court has really asked the government to open up schools, but to ensure security. What more do we know about the situation across the state?
That is true, absolutely. Just few days back, the Chief Minister and the Home Minister held a meeting with all the DCs, SPs and the Education Department officials to take a feedback as to what is the ground situation in the districts. And post that, the DCs were told to take their own call, and they have been given freedom as to put in Section 144 right way. So in Udupi, Shimoga, Davangere town and other parts of Karnataka as well as Bengaluru city, there is Section 144 where people more than 4 to 5 people cannot assemble. At least in Bengaluru, the assembly session is also on. This is the first day of the joint address of the governor, Karnataka governor here. So during the week, we will have the hijab issue coming up in the Vidhan Sauda too. And what we are picking up is the Congress is trying to corner the government in law and order situation. When I spoke to the Home Minister this morning, they said they are very ready to fight it back on the floor of the House. There was no incidents across Karnataka except for a stone pelting issue that happened in Bagalkot. Apart from that, there was nothing else. Congress is trying to create anarchy, but till now few arrests have been made. Apart from that, most of the districts in Karnataka have remained calm in terms of law and order situation, is what the Karnataka Home Minister says. We'll have to wait and watch. In the next few days, will they go for tougher curbs if there is still a sense of disruption or a sense of calmness, uneasiness, and that's the thing that we'll be looking forward in the next week. But today it's important because a joint session will start in Karnataka.
Right, Nagarjun, thank you very much for that. I'm going to come across to you every now and then. We know there's a lot of intense discussion in Karnataka as politicians now coming together, many of them trying to understand the severity of the situation and how they can maintain peace and order until the court's verdict is out. So this is important precedents that will be set through this verdict that will come soon from the High Court. I'm going to quickly cut across to Karnataka Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai, who's been constantly speaking of uniformity inside schools, but at the end of it, they're all waiting for the court order. Also, the Campus Front of India, who's been blamed for instigating this entire communal situation here in the Udupi belt. Afil Akram, the president of CFI, also speaks. Let's have a listen.
ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು DDPI ಅವರಿಗೆ SP ಅವರಿಗೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಸ್ಕೂಲು ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸಭೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಸಭೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೌಹಾರ್ದತೆ ವಾತಾವರಣ ಮೂಡಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಸೂಚನೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನನಗೆ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇದೆ ನಾಳೆ 10ನೇ ತರಗತಿವರೆಗೂ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶಾಂತವಾಗಿ ಶಾಲೆಗಳು ನಡೀತದೆ. ಅದರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮುಂದಿನ PUC ಮತ್ತು ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸಚಿವರು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ವರದಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದರ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾರಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಾವು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಆ ಮೀಟಿಂಗನ್ನು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. ಈ ಏನು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಶಾಸಕರ ಮತ್ತು ತಹಸೀಲ್ದಾರಿನ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್, ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಇದರ ಮೀಟಿಂಗಿನ ಏನು ಇನ್ವಿಟೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಅ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಒಂದು ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷನಾಗಿ ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಹಿತದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ಈ ಮೀಟಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಏನು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Arga Gyanendra, the Home Minister of Karnataka, who suspects that there could be a bigger conspiracy behind this. There, the PFI, the CFI, the SDPI, all of them involving to make this a communal affair. Let's cut across. Nagarjun Dwarkanath speaking with the Home Minister, Arga Gyanendra.
Joining me now is a special guest on India Today here. It's the Home Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Arga Gyanendra. Sir, thank you for joining India Today this morning. People have been watching you for the last 1 week or 15 days in Karnataka. We have seen the developments. Illi tanka ಏನೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ಇದು ಜೆನೆಸಿಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್? ಇದು ಒರಿಜಿನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಶುರು ಆಗಿದೆ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ?
ಸರ್, ಈಗ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಸಹಜವಾಗಿ ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಆ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಂಹಿತೆಯನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನನ್ನ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಸಂಕೇತವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಉಡುಗೆಗಳನ್ನ ತೊಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಶುರುವಾಯ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 1 ವಾರಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಯ ಶಾಲೆ ಅಧ್ಯಾಪಕರು, ಶಾಲಾಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಸಮಿತಿ, ಲೋಕಲ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ಸು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೂತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಟರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಕೆಲವೇ ಬೆರಳೆಣಿಕೆಯಷ್ಟು ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಠಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿದ್ದು ಇಂಥದ್ದೇ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಂಥದ್ದೇ ಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊಂದಲಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳಗಾಯ್ತು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ 1 ವಾರಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಕೆಲವು ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸುವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಹದಗೆಡಲಿಕ್ಕೂ ಇದು ಕಾರಣ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದು ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ನಿಂದನೇ ಶುರುವಾಗಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹಿಂದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವಾರು ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, CFI, PFI ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಪ್ರೊವೋಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಕ್ಟೋಬರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ
ಇದೆ. ಕೆಲವು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಮತೀಯ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು, ಅವುಗಳು ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಬಂದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಅದು ಪ್ರಕಟೀಕರಣ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಇಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಜಡ್ಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ಈಗಿರುವಂತಹದ್ದು ನಾವು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅನುಸರಿಸಬೇಕು.
ಬಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸದ್ಯದ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾರೋ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಶಂಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಡೌಟ್?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪೊಲೀಸರು ತನಿಖೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ತನಿಖೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವ
ಸರ್? ನಮ್ಮ ಚಾನಲ್ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಹಿಂದೆ ಡಿಗಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಯಾರು ಇಬ್ರು ಪೆಟಿಷನ್ ಇದ್ರು ಹುಡುಗಿರು, ಆಲಿಯಾ ಅಸ್ದಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಮುಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಜೈನಾಬ್ ಅಂತ ಇಬ್ರು ಉಡುಪಿ ಹುಡುಗಿರ್ ಪೆಟಿಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ. ಅವರ ತಂದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ PFI ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಫೋಟೋಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಟುಡೇಗೆ.
ಅಂತ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಳವಾಗಿ ಡಿಗ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳು ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ವಿಚಾರಣೆ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಈಗೇನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay.
ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನು ತೆಗಿತೇವೆ, ಅಂತ ಸಂಘ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳನ್ನು ಎಚ್ಚರ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ದೇಶದ ಶಾಂತಿ ಸುವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಭಂಗ ತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ರಮ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಧಾನಸೌಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಲೀಗ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಅಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ MLA ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಜಮೀರ್ ಅಹಮದ್ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ರೇಪ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಧರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೇಪ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ವೋನ್.
ಅದು ಅವರ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬಲ್ರು. ನೀವು ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ? ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಹಿಜಾಬ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋಂಥವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲರ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅತ್ಯಾಚಾರ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಉಡುಗೆ ತೊಡುಗೆಗಳನ್ನ ಉಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ? ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಅದು. ಶಾಲೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಸಂಹಿತೆ ಇದೆಯೇ ವಿನ ಶಾಲೆ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಉಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಯಾರೋ ಬಿಗಿಯಾದ ವಸ್ತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಉಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಇದೆ.
ಹೌದು.
ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಅತ್ಯಾಚಾರ ಆಗೋದಾರೆ, ಹಂಗಾರೆ ಈ ದೇಶ ಉಳಿಯೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈ ರೀತಿಯ ಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳು ಏನಿದಾವೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳಬಲ್ಲರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಯಾರದು ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಇಡೀ ಯಾವ ಜನಸಮುದಾಯವೂ ಇದನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ.
All right, we heard what the Karnataka Home Minister had to say. Araga Gnanendra suspecting that there could be forces behind this to make this a heated affair, especially in coastal Karnataka. I'm going to quickly cut across to our guest, Ms. Gayatri, who is a principal of a very popular school in Bengaluru. Ms. Gayatri, I know that this controversy of the hijab ban has really had an effect on schools across Karnataka, because it was a complete closure of schools and colleges for the last week, and it appears that educational institutions have been very disturbed with this mandate, with this controversy, and your academic year, which finally kick-started post-corona, has now again had a setback. How do you look at this, even as classes begin today, even your school?
Farah, the entire episode is a very unfortunate one. Bangalore is a very peace-loving city, and so is Karnataka. Karnataka is also known as the hub of educational institutions. Educational institutions' main objective is to provide quality education. And students come to school to study. Beyond these two objectives, everything that's happening right now is uncalled for, unnecessary, and a huge distraction to students, because post-COVID, we have learned a lot of lessons, and it's now time for the students to get back to school and concentrate on the upcoming board examination. But, in case there is any controversy, there are elected representatives, there are other forums where it has to be taken up, and definitely not in an educational institutions, because as an educational institution, I hope that we are there to provide quality education and nothing else, and students should be students and not get distracted with other facts.
Ms. Gayatri, that this is very upsetting. Right, Ms. Gayatri, we know this is very upsetting, and I know also that this has been a common practice in schools across Karnataka, where they tell students very politely that you come with your hijab, whatever it is, till your gates or even inside the campus. But when you get inside class, just ensure that you maintain uniformity. This has been a common practice across schools. Some schools allowed it, some schools didn't. But with this kind of escalation, how is it going to really affect the minds of a student today, Ms. Gayatri?
With a lot of difficulty, the schools just reopened post the shutdown that the government had asked due to Omicron. There's a lot of school reluctancy among students, and there's a lot of effort that the teachers and the schools are putting in to bring back the students into the classrooms. While we are doing all these unnecessary aspects does distract the minds of the children and the teachers, and it takes a lot of effort from the school to ensure that they're focused, and they know that the main objective right now is the upcoming board examinations across grade 10, 12, and they need to concentrate. That should be the only objective right now in everybody's mind. And everybody who is involved in this controversy should also understand that let's leave the school and the students away from all these unwanted distractions, and let the school and the students do the roles that they are supposed to do. Over to you, Farah.
Right, Ms. Gayatri, thank you very much. Though I know I understand that educational institutions are so pained because after much of the pandemic, you had classes that finally opened up. And now due to this controversy in Karnataka, schools were shut for a week. The court has mandated that schools must open up, children's education must not lag, but there should be security enough on that. Let me quickly cut across to Mustafa, who's joining us from Kundapura. Mustafa, we know schools in Kundapura, Udupi area where the controversy broke out have all opened up today. Has it all been smooth so far?
Yeah, it has been smooth so far because the preliminary order which has been given by the court after which schools have been opened up for 9th and 10th standard, and we are outside the government school in Kundapura here. We've seen students entering this morning. There was some wearing burqa who are also allowed because the rule says that you don't have to wear the hijab inside the classroom. So we've seen the students entering while wearing it, and they have later removed it and sat in the classroom. So as of now, it has been peaceful, and the Karnataka government has taken efforts to make sure that it remains peaceful because Section 144 has been applied in the 200-meter jurisdiction of all the schools and colleges, and it will remain in effect for coming 3-4 days when colleges also start day after tomorrow. So it seems like there is a message which has been sent out by the administration saying to the student union and politicians that there should be no more law and order situation on this issue. Whatever has to happen can happen in the court. Everybody will follow whatever the court says. We'll have to wait and see this afternoon when the Karnataka High Court starts hearing this matter, what their judgment will be. Back to you.
Right. Mustafa, here in Udupi district itself, Section 144 has been imposed all across. So we know that this matter is being keenly observed all through the way. I must remind our viewers, across Udupi there have been barricades all throughout this entire town, in fact, because this is a hotbed and this kind of controversy can really escalate. It takes minutes really to have some kind of intense clashes, which it appears that the police want to thoroughly avoid, which is why we're seeing this strict vigilance and Section 144 that's now been imposed. Now, I'm going to quickly cut across to the politics now that's escalating over this entire hijab controversy. It's echoed in Uttar Pradesh as well. We're looking at Yogi Adityanath, who's also commented on this hijab face-off. In fact, Yogi Adityanath, in an interview on the polling day, has said he's clearly spelt out which side of the hijab showdown he now supports. Yogi calls for sticking to strict uniform rules in schools. This is what Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said. The Chief Minister said systems in the country should be run based on the Constitution of India and not the Shariat or the Islamic law. Yogi Adityanath further added that we can't impose our personal religious beliefs and choices on the country and its institutions. Dress code must be enforced in schools, adding that when the country runs according to the Constitution, women will get their due respect, security and independence. Now, commenting on OAC's hijab, Prime Minister, in fact, OAC's hijab Prime Minister remarks, Yogi has said that Prime Minister scrapped the triple talaq law to free our daughters, Muslim daughters he means, to free our daughters, but said that BJP will never allow the India to become an Islamic state.
ड्रेस कोड स्कूलों में लागू होना चाहिए, स्कूल का विषय है, स्कूल के अनुशासन का विषय है। आर्मी में कोई ये कहेगा कि हम लोग जो है अपने अनुसार चलेंगे, फोर्स में कोई इस प्रकार की बात करेगा, कहां अनुशासन रह पाएगा। व्यक्तिगत आस्था आपकी अपनी जगह होगी, लेकिन जब संस्थाओं की बात होगी तो संस्था के नियम कानून को हमें मानना होगा। देश की व्यवस्था होगी, देश के संविधान को मानना।
All right, we know that the Karnataka High Court, a higher bench, has deliberated on this matter already. Discussions have happened. Today will be the hearing at 2:30 p.m. Very unlikely that the verdict will be out because a lot of constitutional questions have cropped up that they need to now decode and understand. How important is it to allow a religious symbol inside classrooms, whether it is essential or not? We're going to continue keeping the spotlight on the story. For now, thank you for watching.